made a video a couple of months ago regarding the adoption of the role of Anne Boleyn by a black actress, Jodie Turner-Smith. It's come to my attention recently, yesterday in fact, that another historical character, a white historical person, has been yet again played by a black actress. The show is Bridgerton, and the historical person is Queen Charlotte of England. Queen Charlotte was the wife of George III of England. He reigned from 1760 to 1820, was one of England's longest ever serving monarchs. Third longest, I think. And I assumed this was just another gratuitous rewriting of white history, British history, by replacing an obviously historically white person with a black actress. Nobody really thinks that Anne Boleyn was black. But there are some people that believe that Queen Charlotte might have been Britain's first ever black monarch. That's certainly what they say in The Guardian, whether they believe it or not. This is so catastrophically false that it's kind of unbelievable that anybody could believe it. Queen Charlotte was born in Germany in 1744. She is a distant ancestor of Alfonso III of Portugal. And Alfonso III had a mistress who may have been of African descent. And because she may have been of African descent, they take that and run with it. And the extrapolation that they come up with was that Queen Charlotte was at the very least mixed race and perhaps even black. Hence the role. So they're blurring the lines and making it as ambiguous as they possibly can. And there is a certain amount of people, whether they believe it or not, I don't see how they can, but they're promulgating this narrative. First of all, the word African is ambiguous in itself, because although most people in Africa are black, the part of Africa that is far closer to Portugal is North Africa, and most people in North Africa are not black. They're Berber or of Phoenician descent. They're brown skinned. We all know what they look like. They are not black. And because your ancestor 500 years before you were born may have had a mistress that wasn't quite white, that does not make you a black person 500 years in the future. We all have, if you go back far enough, we have different races as a part of our genetic makeup. Rape was incredibly common, it still is, unfortunately, but groups would raid and they would rape the women and this and that. And yes, we all have a messy genetic past if you go back far enough, but that 500-year gap, every ancestor that she had, mother and father, along that 500 years was white. So how this makes her biracial or somehow England's first ever black monarch is absolutely ridiculous. It's not based in any kind of science. It's not scholarship. It's activism. It's promulgated by far left-wing ideologues who want to make out that black people have always been in England and it's always been a multicultural society, which is quite strange because it conflicts with one of their narratives, one of their main narratives, which is that black people have been horribly oppressed and this and that. And, kids looking at it would be listening, on the one hand, black people were terribly oppressed, and on the other hand, oh no, they were queens of England. Which is it? They don't necessarily fit together. So I think the confused leftists have to make their mind up on this. But the idea that she was the first black queen or the first biracial queen is absolutely nonsense. It's not based in any science, and it's just pure ideology.